Chapter 2 Part 3. Rain hammered the rover's roof like a frantic heartbeat. The plastic case lay on the console between them, a cold, damp weight. Anthony hadn't let go of Angela's hand. His grip was fierce, grounding, his fingers still trembling slightly from the chase, the near miss, the sheer audacity of stealing back a piece of his brother from the maw of his mother's control. The shared terror in the cove, the desperate scramble through the storm, it had shattered the carefully constructed roles of puppet master and pawn. In the dripping green gloom of the forest pullout, they were just two terrified kids clinging to dynamite. Then, Anthony rasped, the name rough, unfamiliar on his tongue. Benjamin. He was different. He stared straight ahead through the rain-smeared windshield, not seeing the towering firs. Not like me. Not cold. Not good at the performance. He released Angela's hand suddenly, wiping his muddy palm on his ruined trousers beneath the poncho. The loss of contact felt abrupt, leaving her hand cold. He reached for the case, his movements jerky. The latches clicked open with a sharp, definitive sound. Inside, nestled in custom-cut foam, were 3 items. A thick, leather-bound journal, its cover stained by salt water and time. A small, encrypted USB drive. A faded, creased photograph. Anthony picked up the photograph first. His thumb traced the edge. Angela leaned closer. It showed 2 boys, maybe 12 and 14, standing on the sun-drenched deck of a sailboat. The younger boy, Anthony, unmistakably, though softer, his smile genuine and unguarded, had an arm slung around the shoulders of an older boy.
Ben.
He shared Anthony's striking bone structure and blonde hair, but his eyes were warmer, brown instead of blue, crinkled with laughter. He looked alive, vibrant, utterly unlike the hollow creature Anthony had described returning from Switzerland. He loved this place, Anthony whispered, tapping the photo. Split Rock.
The sea.
He called it the only real thing. He hated the glass house, hated the gala circuit, hated her. He didn't need to specify. He wanted to be a marine biologist, study the tidal pools, save the orcas. A bitter, choked sound escaped him. Eleanor called it a quaint distraction, unbefitting a Moretti. He set the photo aside with reverence and picked up the journal. He didn't open it immediately. He ran his fingers over the worn leather, as if absorbing its history. He started writing after the first time she sent him away. Not Switzerland.
Before.
Some behavioral retreat in Utah when he was 15. He came back quieter. But he started noticing things. Recording things. Anthony finally opened the journal. The pages were filled with Ben's handwriting, neater than Anthony's frantic scrawl, but intense. Sketches of sea creatures intertwined with dense blocks of text. Anthony flipped past drawings of starfish and hermit crabs, his fingers trembling slightly, until he found a page near the middle. The date was 5 years ago. The entry began normally. Observations of a rare sea slug near Split Rock. Then the tone shifted. Saw mother's car at the Foundation's Special Projects Annex again.
Late.
Dr. Vance went in. He's the one who signs off on the charitable drug trials in the Harbor's End Free Clinic. Curious. Checked public filings versus internal Foundation logs. Accessed Dad's old admin login. RIP, password 123.
Discrepancy.
Big one. Foundation reports distributing Vitalix, experimental cardiac med, to 150 trial participants. Clinic intake logs only show 87. Where did the other 63 doses go? Billing insurers for meds not distributed? Classic Moretti grift? But why risk it? The margins seemed small for her. Anthony's voice was flat, detached, as he read aloud, but Angela saw the horror dawning in his eyes. He flipped a few pages. Another entry, a month later. Confirmed. Not just grift. Something worse. Much worse. Followed Vance. He didn't go home. Went to a private storage unit near the old cannery. Tracked the unit lease, shell company, but payment trail leads back to her. Broken, sorry, Dad. Your lockpicking lesson's finally useful. Unit packed not with meds, but with empty Vitalix vials. Thousands. And filled vials of a different drug. Generic saline solution? Labels expertly forged to match Vitalix. Photos taken. Evidence secured. She's not just skimming money. She's swapping the trial drug for placebo in over half the Harbor's End participants. People with heart failure. People trusting the free clinic. People like Mrs. Henderson down the street. She could be killing them.
Slowly.
For what?
Why?
Anthony stopped reading. The silence in the rover was thick, suffocating. The implications crashed over Angela like a rogue wave. Eleanor Moretti wasn't just controlling, she was lethally corrupt. She was experimenting on the impoverished people of Harbor's End, potentially dooming them. To what? Save money? Cover up a faulty drug? The sheer, monstrous scale of it was paralyzing. Why? Angela breathed, the word barely audible. Anthony finally looked at her, his blue eyes reflecting the stormy gloom outside, filled with a self-loathing anguish that stole her breath. Because the real Vitalix trial was failing, he whispered, the words raw. Catastrophically. Adverse effects. Lawsuits looming. But Eleanor had invested heavily. Personal reputation tied to it. If the trial failed publicly, the Foundation's credibility, her precious control. He swallowed hard. So she created a control group within the trial. Harbor's End became her lab rats. If the placebo group showed similar negative outcomes, she could blame the patients. Their lifestyle. Their pre-existing conditions. Not the drug. Not her. He slammed the journal shut. Then found out. He confronted her. Angela remembered Anthony's earlier words. She made my brother disappear. She sent him away. To silence him. Anthony nodded. A jerky, painful movement. Switzerland. A wellness facility. Really a high-end prison. No internet. Monitored calls. Therapists paid to gaslight him into doubting his own mind, his evidence. He picked up the encrypted USB drive. This is the digital proof. Photos of the swapped vials. Scans of forged labels. Financial trails. Then mailed the physical journal to a P.O. box under a fake name before he confronted her, then buried the backup here. He told me the location the last time I saw him before they took him. In code. A childhood game. Saltwater and stone. His voice broke. He knew she'd find the first copy.
He needed a lifeline.
He trusted me. The self-loathing deepened. And I did nothing. For years. I was too busy playing the perfect heir. Too scared of her. The weight of his confession, the monstrous truth in the journal, pressed down on Angela. Her mother, Lena Mitchell. She'd used the Harbor's End free clinic for routine checkups before her diagnosis. Had she been part of this? Was her current illness? Angela shoved the terrifying thought away, focusing on the immediate danger. And now Eleanor found out about this backup? Someone talked, Anthony said grimly. Maybe a cleaner who knew about the storage unit. Maybe Ben slipped up in one of his therapy sessions. She's tying up loose ends. Permanently. That crew at Split Rock wasn't just retrieving evidence. They were erasing it. And anyone who saw them do it. His gaze locked onto Angela's, filled with a terrifying realization. You're a loose end now, Mitchell. A big one. The implications slammed into Angela. Eleanor didn't just want to silence Ben's evidence. She'd eliminate anyone connected to it, including the Harbor's End girl who helped dig it up. The grant, her mother's treatment, it was all ash now. The cage wasn't just gilded ice. It was a death trap. Angela looked at the case. At the journal. At the USB drive. At Anthony's shattered face. She thought of Ben's warm eyes in the photo. Of Mrs. Henderson down the street. Of the countless unknown victims in Harbor's End. The moral imperative warred with primal terror. Protect her mother. Protect Megan.
Run.
Salt.
Stone. Fire.
Anthony's phone, his regular one, not the satellite phone, buzzed violently on the dashboard. Megan's name flashed on the screen, followed by a frantic string of texts that appeared and then instantly disappeared, a self-deleting message app. Megan. ANG. Emergency. Moretti Security. Just left bookstore. Questioned mom hard about you. Where you were last night. Who you know. At clinic. Took her employee records. She's freaking. WTF is happening. Megan. They mentioned Ben.
Who's Ben?
Megan, call me. Unsafe to text. Eleanor was moving.
Fast.
Securing the Harbor's end of her monstrous tapestry. Lena Mitchell, working part-time at the bookstore, might have innocently processed clinic paperwork. She was a loose end. Megan, asking questions, was another. Angela looked from the panicked texts back to Anthony. His face was pale, but a desperate resolve was hardening in his eyes, replacing the anguish. He understood the message. The fire Eleanor feared was already spreading. Angela reached out. Not for her phone. Not to run. Her hand closed over the cold plastic of the case containing Ben's voice, Ben's truth. Her fingers brushed Anthony's where they still gripped the journal. The touch wasn't comfort. It was ignition. "We can't run," Angela said, her voice low, steady, surprising even herself. "She'll find us. She'll destroy everything." She met Anthony's startled gaze. "Ben trusted you. He buried this for a reason, not just to hide it, to use it." She tapped the journal. "This isn't just your brother's voice, Anthony. It's a weapon." Anthony stared at her, the heir to the Moretti Empire and the Harbor's End scholarship girl, united not by pretense, but by shared terror and a stolen box of damning truth. The rain drummed its frantic rhythm. The storm raged outside. Inside the rover, amidst the ruins of Eleanor's design, Angela Mitchell made her choice. "Teach me how to use it."